Thank you, President. My question is to the Minister representing the Minister for Health, Senator Gallagher. In February Senate estimates hearings, Adjunct Professor Skerritt, Deputy Secretary Health Products Regulation Group, made the following statement, and I quote, "There is only one regulator in the world, the US FDA, that actually looks at individual patient data. The rest of the regulators, like us, take statistically validated analyses of patient data. If there are issues with the individual patient data, the FDA will raise those issues. We do not get individual patient data." End of quote. In estimates hearings on the 10th of November 2022, Professor Skerritt said, quote, "We did check the Phase 2 and Phase 3 clinical trial data from Pfizer." Minister, please confirm that the TGA simply checked what Pfizer and the FDA sent to them without checking that back to the source material, patient records, meaning they took Pfizer's word for it.
Thank you, Senator Roberts. Minister Gallagher.
Thank you, President, and I thank Senator Roberts for his question. And I was there at, I think, both of those hearings with Professor Skerritt, who has since retired from that role, and I just take this opportunity to acknowledge his contribution, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic and the role of the TGA. On the substantive part of your question, Senator Roberts, I will go back because I obviously wasn't in the position I'm in now when those comments were made about what was done with the Phase 1 and Phase 2 trials and the data that was available. But my understanding of the TGA processes is they don't just necessarily look at one set of data. They are looking at a whole range of data as they're making approvals for particular vaccines. But I will come back and if I have anything further to add on that. I would also say that it's very clear that the vaccination program, the rollout of the vaccination program has saved lives, and it has, particularly for those who are vulnerable to COVID-19, reduced the chance that they would pass away or have very severe disease from COVID-19. And that data is well and truly established and evidence-based, and you can see that in the hospitalisations data and other data that's collected about the impact of the vaccination program. So the vaccine program has been very successful, and we're very fortunate to have been in a position, I think, to have all been vaccinated against this virus over the last couple of years.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Roberts, first supplementary.
Thank you. Minister, can you assure the Senate that the US FDA did actually check the Pfizer analysis of patient data back to the actual patient data?
Thank you, Senator Roberts. Minister Gallagher.
Well, I don't think I'm in a position, or the government's in a position, to say what the FDA did or didn't do. I can certainly see if there's any further information I can provide to the Senator. I acknowledge his ongoing interest in this area, and if there are further advice I can provide to assure you that very strong and thorough and rigorous processes were followed before the TGA approved any of the vaccines that were used to vaccinate against COVID-19.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Roberts, second supplementary.
If that is the case, Minister, why then does that same data, when independent leading virologists examine it properly in a peer-reviewed published paper, show the 400,000 patient records actually prove the vaccine was unsafe and should not have been approved? I ask you again, Minister, did our bureaucrats approve a dangerous product because they trusted Pfizer, and in so doing they failed to act in Australia's best interests?
Thank you, Senator Roberts. Minister Gallagher.
Thank you. Well, no, I don't think that's a correct assertion to put, and I do have, and I would expect that most senators in this place would have complete and total faith in the processes used by the TGA when they were going through the approvals for the vaccine against COVID-19. I know there are some in this place, and I've certainly sat in estimates listening to the questions that a number of senators have asked that have a different view, but I would say the overwhelming view of senators in this place is that the TGA undertook rigorous examination in a compressed timeframe because of the situation we were facing. And I think it's easy to forget that we were facing a pandemic where it was predicted that we would see significant loss of life if we were not able to protect citizens. And we've been, again, very fortunate to have relied on the science, to have rolled out the vaccine, and the data is very clear around the impact the vaccine's had on reducing serious disease and death from COVID-19.
Thank you, Minister. The time has expired. Senator Askew.